Alrighty. So for my internship investigation, I am placed at Rancho Solano Prep School, the high school and the middle school campus. My mentor teacher is Katie Wyrowski. She teaches a couple of different classes. She has two 8th grade English classes. She has one senior English class, and she has one sports literature and writing elective class. She's also the dean for freshman students. So for her 8th grade classes, they are at max 18 students. They seem to be kind of evenly split between boys and girls. There is definitely some varying ethnicities, I think, all throughout the school, not just in her classes, but I would say that the population is predominantly white, no matter where you are. Her senior English class is only 8 students, although to put that in perspective, the entire senior class is 12 kids because their high school is relatively recent. So she's got eight kids for senior English. 4 of them are foreign students, foreign boarding students, all of who are different Asian ethnicities, and only 2 of her students in that class are girls. And then for her sports literature and writing class, because it is an elective, she's only got 5 students. They're mixed grade levels. They are predominantly white, and it's 2 girls and 3 boys. As far as procedures go, she takes attendance at the beginning of every class period. Students that are absent know that they need to go to the absent work bin and pick up anything that they missed. If they've been absent for a long time, they know that they need to talk to her, just to make sure that they're all caught up. Her expectations basically are that they're on task, that they're doing what they're meant to do, and that they're, treating each other with respect and being adult about the conversations that they have in her classroom. They are expected to bring, if they're reading, the book that they're reading, any English work that they've done for that class, their computer and charger. The computer and charger is a school mandated thing. They're supposed to have it every day, fully charged, and their charger is a backup. And then any other sort of miscellaneous things that she's asked them to bring. She has a laptop of her own. She also uses the overhead projector quite a bit. And those, I would say, are the 2 main things that she uses. As far as seat work goes, they are allowed to talk to each other, but they seem to have a very good sense of when they should be talking and when they shouldn't be talking. They know that they should raise their hand if they need her help, regardless of where she is. If she's circulating, if she's sitting down, if she's, whatever she's doing, they know that they're meant to raise their hand if they want help from her. For group work, they do quite a bit of group work, and they know that they're allowed to talk to each other. They know that they should all be doing an even amount of work. One of the things that she has them do for group work, for every single piece of group work that they do, is every student's paper has to have the names of all of the group members on it, because that way when she grades it, she can keep track of, okay, this person was in this group, this person was in this group, that sort of thing. And that way, if one of them doesn't turn something in, she knows who in the group wasn't carrying their weight. Their school grading system, not just her grading system, but their school grading system is through something called Haiku, which, as I understand it, is similar to Infinite Campus, but it's kind of like Infinite Campus and Google Classroom shoved together, because she can post like assignment updates, she can post, I would say it's more like Blackboard, because it has grades and kind of announcements and assignments. Every student has to have, at least for 8th grade, has to have an agenda. I have noticed that a lot of the senior students still have them, and I think that's because they picked it up from their 8th grade agendas. And their assignments are always on Haiku, they're always on a class calendar, they're always put into their agendas, and they know that when they turn it in, it goes into the turn it in bucket. This is the classroom. Over here, I hope my mouse is showing up, but over on the left, just in case it's not, that is Katie Wyrowski. That's always where she sits. So she doesn't have a desk. She doesn't have a desk of any sort. She has the podium that you can see over in the far right, but no desk. She's always there because she wants to be kind of integrated into their conversations. On the right, you can see that there's a lot of windows. This school is in a converted office building, so there are quite a lot of windows, which is kind of nice. On the right, behind her podium, you can see her bookshelf. The little cabinet just directly to the right of the bookshelf is where she keeps her supplies. So she's got like pencils and that sort of stuff, and students know not to go in there. this is a view from the back of the classroom. So there's her whiteboard with the overhead projector. You can see the bookshelf better here. To the right of the whiteboard on that little bulletin board, she's got all sorts of school mandated stuff that she has to have. So like school rules, school, I don't know, like fire drill reports, or, the things that the school requires her to have posted in her classroom are on there. And then those file cabinets in there, that's where her absent work folder is. That's where she keeps kind of her lesson materials and all that jazz. As far as phones go, 8th grade and lower are not allowed to have their phones out in a classroom unless the teacher tells them that they can. At least for her seniors, I don't know about the grades in between because she doesn't have any of the grades in between, but her seniors it's basically an honor system. They essentially say, you should know when it's appropriate to have your phone out and you should know when it's appropriate to not. And for the most part, they do seem to follow that. Electronic devices, I would say with their laptops, they're pretty good about knowing when they should and shouldn't use them. The biggest problem with the laptops is that a lot of the time kids will come without their laptop charged. And I think that that's the biggest problem that they have, but otherwise they seem to be okay with it. Class interruptions, the biggest class interruption that happens all the time is the announcements, but typically kids know that they pay attention and then they get back to work. So she tends to try, and for the announcement period, announcement happens like 3 minutes in. So she tends to try to just kind of catch up with them in those 3 minutes and do attendance and that sort of stuff in those 3 minutes so that she's not interrupted in a lesson. And then general misbehavior, they don't misbehave. And I think a lot of that is because they've been in this school system for so long that they know what they can and can't get away with, and they know that they can't get away with it with her. I also think that because she's the dean of freshman students, they're kind of like, oh man, she's the dean, I shouldn't piss her off. And that's it. That's the whole thing.